like the character interactions, I swear to you, it's literally like a living anime show. It is so good.
And again, this goes back to my analogy about it being like crack. You quit crack and you say, "No, I'm done. I'm done with that. I'm being sober." And then all of a sudden, somebody has a crack pipe, and you're like, "You know what? I'll just take one more hit."
But even with all that, even with all the stuff that you could say didn't quite land, all the stuff that didn't quite add up, all the things that didn't quite make sense in the show or wasn't fully explained, the things like, even with all those things, it just did so much right. All right, and here we go. We are back from our hiatus with another episode of the Uncivilized Arts podcast. I'm your host, Bumi Hazan, but I go by Bandit Hayes in the online space, and I'm joined once again by my favoritist people in the whole wide world, Celeste Orchid, Lady Celeste Orchid, and man like Sweet Buzz, Sweet Bundy. How you guys doing?
Doing really good. Freezing in Denmark right now. There's quite a bit of snow here and ice. So if I look kind of funny, yeah, I just don't want to be cold.
Yeah, it's getting. It's actually been raining a lot in the UK. Like it's rained, I believe, every single day in the UK since 2026 began. Like somewhere in the UK, it's rained. About that. So yeah, it's been pretty nuts. And London, I think, has gotten a lot of it. So it's been a lot of rain, cold and rain. How's the weather over in New York, Sweet Bundy?
It's starting to get better, but only better in comparison to what it was. We had this big ass blizzard, so there's still clumps of ice and snow still everywhere. It's dirty as hell because New York is dirty as hell. And some bus stops are just still covered and blocked by all these heaps of snow. Cars that they had to park in certain ways because of those big ass mountains, and because they kept piling on snow in one spot, that shit's not melting anytime soon. So yeah, but today is not too bad. Today's like a 40-degree day.
You got some reprieve then. That's good. That's good. All right, so before we get into today's episode, for all our regular viewers and listeners, both of you. So yeah, there you might notice a slight change. So we've changed up the format for the upcoming episodes. So rather than going in super duper depth into one TV show or one movie or one thing where we normally might go super in detail with it, we're not going to do that. We're going to just kind of talk more generally throughout the episode of things we've been doing. We might mention a few details here and there, but it's mostly going to be general stuff about stuff we've been playing recently. If I can even talk properly, stuff we've been playing recently or watching recently. So TV shows or movies we've been watching recently or games we've been playing recently, things like that. It's going to be mostly spoiler free, but there might be a few things just, because we're talking pretty freely. So there might be a few things that slip out, but I'll say it's generally going to be spoiler free for the most part. But that being said, hopefully every now and then, maybe once a month or once every couple of months, we'll see how it goes. But we still want to do the in-depth episodes every so often where we'll pick something and then go into depth with that. But for now, for these regular episodes, it's a bit more general, so hopefully you enjoy. And if you have any suggestions of things we should talk about, things we should watch or things like that, drop it in the comments, let us know, hit us up on the Twitters and all that sort of stuff, and then we'll see what we can do about that. But for now, let's kick things off and let's talk about... I've got a few notes here. What is Wandance, Celeste? What is? I don't even know if I don't think I've heard of that. What is that a show? What is that? Is it a dance?
So it's actually a play on words. Her name, the character's last name. She's the female protagonist. Her name is like Wanda something, but it's Japanese, so it's literally different. And she's like, I want to be a famous dancer someday. So she sucks at school and all this other stuff. But she's not the main character. She's just the love interest. It's actually this one guy. I totally forgot his name, so excuse me. But I'm so annoyed by it. This guy has a stutter, and it sucks to watch him because like I'm like, why am I watching this? But I'm so captivated by him because he's like, I can feel the music. And then he's like busting out all these moves. And it's just like the first episode, he literally goes in and it's just like, this is all I got, the Running Man. And then all of a sudden he turns and does all these new moves within the series. So it's on Hulu, which is Disney Plus. I really thought that they were going to release more episodes. So currently it sits at 12 episodes, a nice little casual, cozy watch. They have some pretty good, interesting mixes of music. And the animation style is interesting because they have really cutesy wootsy, like, oh, yeah, this is us during school. And it's like drawn animation. But as soon as it gets to the dancing, it's CGI. So it's like this weird blend, which is like, okay, a lot of people have criticized that this looks just really corny and cheesy, but they actually use real dancers and they copied the dancers' movements in CGI. So I think it's just a really interesting anime where they're trying to blend a lot of hip hop and like different music styles, as we have discussed K-pop Demon Hunters before. So I thought this would be something interesting for everyone to hear about and get spread the gospel of Wandance. So her name's Wanda, but you'd add NCE at the end and you get Wandance.
Okay.
It
So
apparently is a manga as well.
So would you say if one likes K-pop Demon Hunters, would that same person like Wandance?
No, absolutely not.
Oh, it
And
is
it's
two
only
different.
because it's definitely a sexist statement to say that because the male character, he's not instantly likable like the girls in K-pop Demon Hunters. Because like they come out with a bang, they're like, oh yeah, we're here on the plane being relatable, eating snack foods. Whereas this guy, he's like, hi, and he's just socially awkward. So right then and there, that could turn away a lot of people. And he has to give people like a card saying like, hey, I'm not having problem, like I have social cue problems, but like I want to be your friend, like don't disclude me kind of thing. So I don't think it's exactly the same vibe as K-pop Demon Hunters, but it's a unique take on anime that I haven't really seen in a long time. Like there's sports animes out there, but this is like a legit dancing one that I can't think like isn't a magical girl like dancing kind of thing.
Okay. So I'm guessing. Well, from what you're saying, it seems like it's a lot of dancing, a lot of music. Not much action then, or
I would say it explains a lot about dancing. So when people are doing a certain style, they break down like, oh, so this is the basics of like 1, 2, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, this is what Teton is, or like, this is what the difference is on breaking, or like, this is hip hop versus like freestyle. And it's like, okay, I didn't actually really know that. But that's interesting because I learned a lot.
okay.
So that way, if you're like, oh man, I don't want to look like a socially awkward person dancing, just watch a little bit of this and be like, just get the basics down. 1, 2, 2.
So you mentioned K-pop Demon Hunters actually, and about hip hop, and I did see a video. I think you posted this video on Instagram actually about how K-pop has taken a lot from American music, Black American music specifically, and with this show, I guess using music in perhaps a somewhat similar-ish way, do they perhaps go more into the inspirations or the history of where they're drawing it from, or is it just more like, yeah, we're just doing a hip hop and then that's it?
I believe there's an episode where they talk about hip hop, where it comes from like kind of like the Black community in the USA, but it's not like in depth or something like that. And then and when they talk about the music, they're just like, oh, you hear the subtle beats of the bass mixing with blah 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 blah. Too advanced for my small puny brain, but yeah, it's just like, oh, they're picking off the nuances off of this, and there's a hidden part that really makes your dance pop so much better. And wait for the beat drop. I'm like, I know what a beat drop is, okay? Like, I'm not that bad, but like, some people might not get it, and unless they like actually understand it. So like that's kind of where they go with the music. It's just like, oh, this one person really is free when they're dancing, or oh, this person really has a style when they dance, but it's not matching the song. So like if it's reggae, you're not going to do what's a good way, like if you do reggae, you're not going to do something that's really offbeat and do like the Russian kiki dance, the Rasputin, you know. So it's kind of like matching the vibe, and like if you're battling someone, like who's getting the right kind of energy during the right movement sets, and that's kind of what it is. It's like interesting because it's in a high school setting as well.
Okay. So a sweet Bundy, does that sound like something you'd want to get into as a hip hop fan, as a casual anime fan?
Well, I wouldn't even consider myself an anime fan anymore because like I haven't been into anime really in such a long ass time. Besides like maybe one or two newer ones. But um what I love music, and I mean, yeah, I'd definitely check it out to see like at least the fight scenes to because I like the idea, I like the concept. I ain't gonna lie. Um I thought of like doing a story that has that mechanic where the fighting has to be on beat to help power it up and shit. So I'm kind of jealous about that because I'm like, God damn it. It's that's the game of fiction. If you didn't write it first, if you don't write it right then and there, somebody else is gonna do it.
I had a quote once, and it came from somebody who turned out to be kind of an arsehole, to be honest with you. But, when you're right, you're right. But what he said was, a good idea doesn't go away; it just goes somewhere else. So,
Mm,
yeah, it's true. You gotta, if you have a good idea, yeah, you definitely gotta try and make it come to fruition before it just goes to somewhere else.
Well,
yeah.
Uh,
don't ever feel like it won't come true, because like everyone and their mom has bled the vampire genre dry. So like, what's gonna stop you from writing another vampire movie? Like, come on, there was
That
Twilight.
is
That was
true.
a global
yeah,
phenomenon.
yeah,
Now
yeah.
we got Nosferatu,
Hmm.
global phenomenon again. It's not, you can beat a dead horse forever,
Well,
but guess what? If it's an immortal one, it's okay.
That is
technically,
true. That's a
Nosferatu came
fact.
first, by the way. But yeah.
They even
But,
have like I forgot what it's called, Confessions of a Vampire, whichever one has less stat. They have a series based on that now.
but that
What?
was Interview with the Vampire.
Yeah.
Interview with the Vampire, yeah.
Yeah.
They have a series. I want to check it out because I saw a couple of clips of it and it looks dark as hell. So
Usually Anne Rice stories are really dark. I've read
yeah.
like 2 books. They're pretty good. Do recommend.
Mm.
She's dead though. So
Okay.
Wait, who's that?
Anne
Say
Rice, the
Anne
writer.
Rice. I didn't know she died. Oh no, rest in peace, Anne
She died
Rice.
a
I
while
didn't know she
ago, but
passed away.
I was like really
I
into her
missed that
stuff
news. Yeah. Damn, sorry,
like
sorry, Anne
6 years
Rice.
ago.
But yeah, Interview with the Vampire is excellent. So yeah, that's a definitely recommended one. But yeah, maybe talk about that another time. But for now, Sweet Bundy. Oh, what you been watching? What you been playing? What you been doing with yourself that you'd like to talk about for the next few minutes?
So I just got done watching the documentary um Unknown Number, the High School Catfish. It's like a documentary about, oh yeah, all right. So you already know.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say the
I know
Is
spoilers.
it
the
called
spoilers.
Unknown
I know the
Number?
spoilers, but I'm not gonna spoil anything. I'll be quiet.
But
I know. I know.
the premise is basically, it's a true story. It's a documentary. Um, this high schooler, she's like 13, and she's very successful. She has medals and everything, trophies and all that. She's very successful in sports. She's dating this kid that she knew since she was even younger, and they're a cute little couple. But all of a sudden, they start getting phone texts that's very raunchy, disgusting, hateful. I can't even repeat some of the words on here because it would just flag the video. But it's that bad. It's awful. And even telling her to, go off herself and everything. So it's all about who the hell is this person texting her and her boyfriend? And they're trying to track it down, and the harassment goes for over a year. I think it's like up to 20 months. So yeah, it's intense. It's like a big mind-boggling mystery with yeah, that I'll leave it right there. It's definitely worth a watch. Um yeah,
It says
it
it's
was
a true
good. I
story,
just
yeah.
saw that. Yeah. Everybody involved, they're telling the story. They're telling their own story.
Okay, because I'm just looked it up. It says, I think it says documentary, so it's not like actors and that. These are people telling the
Yeah.
story themselves of what happened.
Mhm.
So when did this happen? Is this recently, or I mean, when did the events happen?
I don't recall, but it's not that long ago. It has to be because they look like they're just a little bit older. It had to be like several years ago, maybe something like that. I would say, but yeah, it was insane. You might want to be careful if you don't want to get spoiled because they will tell you the spoiler immediately if you look it up.
I mean, it's a documentary, so I don't know
Best
if
that
you
you
can worry
watched
about
it.
spoilers. It's a
Oh
real
no,
life
there
thing,
there
so
is a no, but there is a spoiler.
it's not like okay. I mean, fair, but
Yeah, because you gotta
all right.
find out who it is. It's not one of those things where they just outright open the documentary. Like the way they tell the story is not so much so to tease you about it, to be like, hey, you don't know who it is. I bet you want to know. I bet you want to know. No, the way they tell it is very putting yourself in their shoes and
Okay.
really sitting there like what they must have been thinking, like, what the hell is going on? Who the fuck is doing this? And that's what you start feeling like when you're watching it. And when they give you the reveal, it's like, okay, you would think, all right, I'm just gonna turn out and tune out. No, you're gonna sit there and you gotta find out why. And my only gripe about it is um it comes to a resolution, but of course, this is reality, so they're not gonna fabricate it or whatever. But the resolution is not satisfying. It's like, why the hell did that happen? And it's so disturbing. And it's like, man, it's definitely worth the watch. If you like having your mind fucked, like, it's worth the watch. Because you will sit there just like, why? Why? That's all I kept asking. Why?
So in the end, was it
Um
Puff Daddy or something like? I
I
watched
did
that
watch that
documentary.
documentary as well. I watched that one as well. Um at least said about that, the better.
Oh,
But
fair,
on a
fair.
lighter note, I watched my first ever K drama.
Oh my God, what was it?
You could predict it. It's Heavenly Ever After.
Oh yeah, I didn't watch that one.
Oh, you didn't watch that
like
one?
that
Okay.
looks like it's gonna give me cavities. I refuse.
So this is my first time watching a K drama. One of my exes would used to be obsessed with K dramas and always try to get me into it, and I just never got into it. It's not like I purposely didn't want to watch it. It's just I'm one of those people that if you keep telling me to watch something, I'm not going to watch it. I don't know. It's a psychological thing, but to get on point, this shit was good. It has moments where it's cheesy. It has moments where it's like, they act like how anime characters would act, like falling asleep for comedic effect and stuff like that. But the story and the writing is so well done, including the actors. Uh the premise of the story is that you have this lady who's alone. She becomes a loan shark, and she wants to earn money for her husband, who's a paraplegic after a bad accident, left him paralyzed and bedridden. Then she dies. So it's about the story of her afterlife, and they start to go into what hell is like, what heaven is like, and the rules of heaven and hell and stuff like that. And it's so damn good. Um I binge watched it. Each episode is like over an hour easily. It's like an hour and 12 minutes or something like that. Man, from the first episode alone, I caught myself tearing up multiple times. because the concepts and everything and the acting, it's like, God damn, this was so good. I can't even go in, I don't even want to go into details about it because I don't want it to be spoiled at all. But just some of the stories, even these side characters, these characters that you don't even know their name, uh, the things that they were going through, it's like it's realistic and it's heartbreaking, it's heart wrenching. The connections and everything, all these little tricks that they do and symbolism that they include in the story, it will really tear your heart apart. And it really brings like a different philosophy to it, which I love. Like one of the quotes that a character says is everyone has their reasons. And man, that line stayed with me. But anyway, to wrap it up, I highly recommend it. I don't like the last episode. I feel like that last episode was rushed, but like with a lot of stories, it's trouble to end it, to put a little perfect bow tie on the end.
What was that show called again? Sorry,
Heavenly Ever After.
Heavenly. Okay, cool. All right then. Well, for myself then, first thing I want to talk about is I guess it's a show that wasn't really super popular. I don't think hardly anybody watched it. You probably never even heard of it. It's called Stranger Things. So yeah, this is
I actually
a
never
small
watched
little
it.
show.
I don't know. It
um,
sounds kind of strange about things.
yeah, basically just strange things happened. But yeah, I want to talk about Stranger Things. And before I get too into this, I will say that before talk about how every now and then we're going to do an episode where we go into super depth about a particular show. I feel like this has to be a candidate for one of the shows we go into depth with. Um,
Oh,
I mean, I would say we it's going to happen because we talk about it. But I'm just saying, in my opinion, I feel like because there's so much to say about this show. There is so
there
much to
really
say about this
is.
show.
I have
And
so much to say about the ending. Sorry to cut you off.
no, it's
I have
fine.
so
It's
much to
fine.
say
It's
about the
because
ending.
I'm
I don't
I'm
want to
aware.
spoil anything. So go on. I'm sorry.
I'm aware of the
I've nominated
controversy
as
around
well.
the ending. I'm aware of the controversy around the ending. But you know what? For me, in my opinion, yeah, you could always. I mean, look, I like to nitpick. I have a channel where I spend a lot of time nitpicking movies. It's just one of the things I like to do. It's one of the most. It's a lot of fun for me to nitpick a movie or a show and point out things that don't make sense or don't add up. I get it. I do it. It's all fun. But at the same time, just because I could nitpick, or you could find things, or there's bits that don't quite add up, or this wasn't explained, or they could have done this, they should have done that. I get it. I'm not disagreeing with any of that. Just did so much right. You know what I mean? Like it just did so much so well, and the fact that you had this show that it started what 2015, 16. It's about 10 years ago it started. So yeah, 2016 it started, and we literally watched these kids grow up. Because they were they were like 8 years old or 10 years old, or
They were
whatever
like
it was.
11 or something.
They were children when it started. They were like you know, early double digits around when it started. By the time it ends, these guys are like in their late teens, 20s. They're young adults now. And you see everything they go through, and all the ups and downs and all the emotions and, the relationships and all the triumphs and the losses and everything that they've went through over those 10 years. And, by the time it wraps up. And yeah, like I said, I'm aware of the controversy. I'm aware that, not everybody liked the ending. But for me, it was so satisfying to see that conclusion, despite the fact that, yeah, some stuff, I get it. But even with all that, I felt the conclusion was really satisfying. It hit, it wrapped it all up because fundamentally they're not going to make any more, at least not any in this main storyline. And so they wrapped it up very nicely. They still left some mysteries to be, mysterious. But as far as the main story goes, it was wrapped up, and you just kind of see how they kind of progress from there and where they go from there. And yeah, it was such a ride, going through from season 1, 2, 3, 4, and all the moments, all the dude when Eddie played Metallica in the Underworld, man, that was just crazy. It was such an emotional ride throughout the 5 seasons, and so for me, yeah, despite despite the fact that, yeah, like, I get it, certain things didn't add up, certain things weren't explained, certain things didn't quite make sense, and yeah, there's things they could have done and perhaps even should have done, but what they did do in the end, what they delivered was still pretty spectacular in my opinion. So yeah, I was pretty hot on Stranger Things. I stand Stranger Things. It was a great show. But I think Celeste might have had a different opinion on that.
No. It was still a great show.
Okay,
I mean,
okay.
it still is a great show, but there are certain things where I'm just like, that's why we went with this. That's what you decided with all your budget. That's where we're going. Okay, sure. I have to just take it because this is the last that they'll ever do. So that's fine.
Yeah, they are gonna
take it.
do. What was that?
I'll nitpick, but it's
Oh, right,
not
for sure.
small nitpicking. It's huge, like a zit on your forehead, and you can't help but look.
Yeah, they are going to do a spin-off series. I'm not sure if it's out. It might be out soon, but there's a spin-off series called Tales from the something something. I can't remember what it's called. But yeah, there's a spin-off series coming, and they've already had the play, which has been out for a few years now. But apparently they're going to do a filmed version of the play, so they're going to get actors and record the play. Not recording the play as an act on stage. I mean, record it as a like a special
actual show.
Yeah, apparently that's gonna happen as well. I did want to see the play actually. I looked up tickets. That was so expensive, dude. The tickets were so expensive. Yeah, I mean they got it in. Yeah, I mean it's in London. I think it's in New York, and I'm sure they got all the other major cities as well. But yeah, in London.
Buzz to like film it for us. And then we'll just watch it from him.
I never even watched Stranger Things. Not one episode.
Oh, definitely watch it. It's amazing. You won't be disappointed by the end at all. Definitely not.
To be fair, the kids' acting has only gotten better throughout the seasons. So, like the cast really deserved the awards that they got when they earned the awards.
They did great. I think they did really good. I think especially considering they were really young when it started. And when you have shows or movies that have young actors, it's kind of rare that you get actors that are good. You know what I mean? Like oftentimes, not to say there's lots of good child actors, I ain't saying that. But the number of like, say, really good child actors compared to the number of child actors, you know what I mean? It's noticeable when you watch a show and there's child actors. There's a reason why a lot of times children don't have, big parts in shows, because like the acting's not always pretty good, and the smaller the part, the less it stands out. But when you have like a show that heavily features a child actor, or they have like a significant amount of screen time, if they're not good, as most child actors aren't, it's so noticeable. But the fact that you had like these four, am I counting right? Four child actors. So yeah, Will, Mike,
it's 5.
Lucas, Dustin.
No, it's 5 with 11.
Well, yeah, and Elle. Oh, yeah.
And then eventually you have
the boys.
Wings.
I'm being sexist. I was only counting the boys. But
I
yeah,
got
also Elle, and then Max came in season 2. But yeah, so yeah, so what? 6 main child actors. And yeah, they all did really well. They all did incredible. So they must have scouted, I don't know, like high and low to find these guys. But yeah, they picked 6 really good child actors that pulled it off throughout the whole series. So yeah, I was pretty happy with it, despite the flaws. But yeah, let me wrapped up on Stranger Things because like I said, we might have to do another episode. We talk more in detail, and so let's get everything off our chest at that point. But
I'll hold it
for
in.
now, Physical Asia. That's a game show, right?
Yes. Oh my God. Okay. So this is kind of a spin-off third season of Physical 100, which is a Korean show featuring 100 different hardcore athletes in Korea. So you get like gymnasts, you get firefighters, you get like rescuer kind of people, and you get CrossFitters. That stuff is crazy. So they have 2 seasons already in Korea of Physical 100, but Physical Asia is basically the Olympics of hardcore muscle building, like mommy daddies. It was so exciting because they already have a spin-off show off of Physical Asia. And it's like really good. I'm just like, I hope they keep going with it. Anyways, you have the teams of Korea, Mongolia, Thailand, Philippines, Indonesia, and weirdly, Australia is included because that's not really Asia, it's Oceania, you know? I believe there's one more. I think Vietnam was a part of it. I can't remember. Oh, did I say Mongolia? Either way, there's like all these teams. I'm sorry I forget one, but they have all these teams with like 6 people. And it's just really exciting to see them do these like outrageous, like super body, like, oh, machos challenges. And some of these challenges are just grueling. And I'm just like, wow. It inspires me to want to work out more. At the same time, I don't think I want to do that when it's like frigid cold. So yeah, I really think more people need to see it. It is like peak entertainment, especially when they're like, I'm really proud of my team. We did so good on this challenge. Or I let my team down. I did so bad. But like the character interactions, I swear to you, it's literally like a living anime show. It is so good. Because like you get all these divas and characters, you get these broad guys just coming in and peacocking. Be like, yeah, I'm sizing out the competition. But like as an avid anime fan, it's just hilarious to see these characters of people, and I'm just like, oh yeah, yeah, I see it. That's such a character. And then you get like the pretty boys, especially with Japan. Oh my god. Oh my god, I've never been so like wow. Oh my god, they're so tall and they look like anime characters. Wow. So highly recommend. It's interesting to watch what happens and the characters. Oh, it's Turkey. Turkey's another one. So Turkey's another competitor in Physical Asia.
Yeah, so Australia, you say they compete in Physical Asia. Australia actually also competes in the Eurovision Song Contest. So, I mean, they guys might need to pick a side.
You think really? Why is that allowed?
I have no idea. Like, I'm sure somebody knows, I'm sure. I should probably look it up. But I very rarely watch the Eurovision Song Contest. But I do know Australia compete in the Eurovision Song Contest, and they're nowhere near Europe. So pick a side, Australia. Wow. Which are you, Asian or European? Which is it?
Like, pick one. You can't be both. And if you want to be, then fine. I'm not going to tell you what to do. You have killer scorpion, baby, venomous bats, everything. Like that area, Australia just sounds so deadly. And I just want to pet kangaroo.
You know, I've never been to Australia, but I do have family there. It does look pretty cool. I ain't gonna lie, Australia looks pretty cool. And before we get back to Physical Asia real quick, because it's about Australia, there's a TV show from Australia called Neighbours, which you might not have heard of it because apparently it's not as popular outside of England, even though it's filmed in Australia, but super popular in England. But apparently it's not that popular in most parts of the world. But this is a show that had Margot Robbie before she was famous, Kylie Minogue before she was famous. I think Hugh Jackman was on it, Russell Crowe, Guy Pearce. Basically, every big Australian actor you could think of was on that show before they were famous. So yeah, Delta Goodrem. So yeah, they had a lot of superstars before they were famous. But anyway, that was Neighbours. Physical Asia. So what type of games do they have in it? Is it like sort of, I think you mentioned strongman games, or what do they do?
kind of strongman, and there's some like endurance kind of things too, where it's just like a self like how is it called? It's like one of those hardcore running treadmills where you have to run to push the treadmill, and then you have to keep running at a certain like hardcore pace in order to keep it going. That's some of the things, or like you have to move this amount of weight. One of the challenges that they brought back from Physical 100 was like the shipwreck, but they changed it. So you have to unload the cargo from the destroyed ship and put it into your base. And there's like a zip line and there's like a giant water tread. Some of these things are like a ton. So like you need multiple people to do it. And then there's like rules and constraints. So that's kind of one of my favorite ones. I'm not going to go into too many more of them, but they don't recycle a lot of the challenges so from other games. So it's actually kind of cool. Like there is a relay for like the endurance kind of people. And that thing was like insane. Like the relay one with the first set of competitors was like, oh my God, I can barely like sit down properly without falling over. And then I'm seeing them do this relay. So it's worth a watch so you can see what kind of drooling challenges human bodies can go through and what people will push themselves for money and honor. Highly recommend. It is one of those game shows where it's just like, who came up with this shit? This is demented. You're torturing these people. Okay, let's keep going. What happens next?
So here's what I'm thinking right now. As someone who's not watched it, heard of it, but not watched it, and just listening to your description of it, it kind of sounds like a cross between the Krypton Factor, which, by the way, yes, I know I'm showing my age when I talk about the Krypton Factor, but whatever. It sounds like a cross between the Krypton Factor, Squid Game, and Takeshi's Castle. How accurate is that?
It's more like Squid Game in the sense of how hard the challenges can get. No, I wouldn't say it's like Squid Game. Because like, yeah, you have in Squid Game, it's every person for themselves. So that's more like Physical 100. And then you get knocked out. So that's its predecessor versus like Takeshi's Castle. That's more humorous. This is still a very serious competitive scene. So think of it more as like a CrossFit competition.
Okay. All right, CrossFit, like you know what? Did you guys ever have? Did you? They probably didn't. But let me see. Did they show the Krypton Factor in America or in Denmark or any parts of the world you guys have ever lived in? Yeah, I don't think so. But no, it was a pretty physical show. Like you mentioned CrossFit, and yeah, it was basically a show that tested like your mental stuff. Like you had to be smart because they had like the question round, but they had like this flight simulator round, so you had to be like on the ball that way. But it also had these physical parts like this the obstacle field where you had like an army drill type course, the obstacle course they called it. That was it. Where you crawling under things, jumping over stuff, climbing ropes, all that kind of thing. So yeah, it was a pretty physical show as well. So yeah, I think the Krypton Factor might have been a good reference, but you guys have no idea what I'm talking about.
Now, when it came to shows like this, I only remember American Gladiators.
Okay,
I know Stone Cold Steve Austin had a show like that too. It was on his Broken Skull Ranch. And then they got this other show, I think it's still going on actually, called American Ninja Warrior.
Okay.
Heard of that, yeah, American Ninja Warrior is still going. I know that one. But it's not entirely the same because a lot of the challenges in the Asia show or physical shows, like they also have you like weightlifting or like you have to move this boulder or you have to hold this boulder until your other competitors drop it kind of situation. Versus Ninja Warrior, it's an endurance sprint. And they do have that, but that's like 1/4 of the competition. They don't do that all the time. So they have different types of endurance tests of like, okay, you have to hold your torso, like your weight of your body, longer than your opponent. So also that kind of endurance, not just like physically running and how fast can you get it done.
Okay.
It also, you're not fighting like one of their Helga kind of characters like American Gladiator. So it's literally you versus the other team or like everyone else. So like that, I was thinking like American Gladiator, but it's really not the same thing. That's why it's so unique. You gotta watch it. I don't know if you guys would watch it, but I recommend this one like more than Wandance. That's why I'm pulling it second, just to warm me up. Because the characters, the people are such colorful cast. It is such a colorful cast. Like you can't help but fall in love with them. Like you just want to watch what they do next.
All right,
Okay.
wow. Speaking of what we do next,
Mhm.
Mr. Sweet Bundy. Segue.
Segue.
Bundy, what else you been watching, playing, or doing?
I've been trying to get back into finishing this game called Metaphor. Metaphor is like a it's made by the same people that made the Persona games, Atlus, and it's they're known for their games being at least 100 hours to beat. Before, like several years back, I had no problem doing that. I beat Persona 5 multiple times. But Metaphor, it was one of those things where I got to the end when I played it about when it came out like 2024 or something like that, late 2024. And I got to the end, got to the final boss, the final boss, and then realized, oh, I got here too early. And I would have to backtrack. I would have to go and reload one of my old save files that's like 10 hours at least back to get up to the level that I'm at in order to beat this guy. And I said, well, I'll do it next week. And well, next week
Yeah.
never came.
Yeah.
Over a year now.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, I got that in my backlog. I want to
Yeah.
delete it off my it. Don't get me wrong, it's a great game, but I don't like tedious shit like that. I don't like backtracking. But it's a JRPG. If you played one, you played them all almost. And I don't want to cheapen it, but it has that same concept. You know, protagonist, memory problems, power of friendship, beat the big bad like
Save the
God.
world.
And
But is the bad guy hot? Like that's a
oh
big
yeah,
leap.
he is. He
Okay.
is.
Like if the bad guy's not hot, why am I no?
Yeah.
I'm just beating up an
They
ugly
make it
person now?
clear.
That's not nice.
From the jump, they make it clear that he's one of those antagonists, that he's one of those type of villains. But it's again, it takes a lot of fucking time to beat those games. And right now, where I'm at in life, I don't got time to really pay attention, sit down, and really grind. And I'm like, nah. Which is funny because I could still play Baldur's Gate 3, and Baldur's Gate 3 is a big, huge, massive ass game. But again, Metaphor, good game. I'm trying to get back into it to beat it finally, so I could delete it off my PS5 for now, and then revisit it when I'm willing to do another replay willingly, and not because I just fucked up the build. So yeah, I don't know. That shit pissed me off for a long time. Just making that progression just to walk into a wall because you didn't build a certain way.
Yeah, the moment you said, "Oh, you had to backtrack for 10 hours or reload the save file," I was like, "Yeah, that's a wash."
Exactly.
I was like,
That's a
yeah,
wash. Like,
when you have that, you just don't play anymore.
Yeah, that's too much. It like I ran into the same problem with I was trying to replay the third game of the original trilogy of God of War. And I got up there, and it was my fault because I played it on hard, right? And I was playing it. I'm up to this boss fight, and it's towards the end. And if you didn't I'm telling you, I rarely do this, but it was driving me nuts that I did not get any progression done in this fight. I kept getting killed at the same spot, the same way. So I said, I must be doing something wrong, and I'm not learning. So I had to go ahead and see somebody else do it. They have a power upgrade that I didn't choose to power up. Every single person, I watched multiple people do this fight. They did the same damn thing. So what that made me realize is that if you don't have that shit powered up, you're fucked.
As in, you can't beat the boss.
Exactly. And I hate that because it's like, this should be a mandatory upgrade. It shouldn't be like a haha, I got you.
Yeah.
Or hey, turn down the difficulty. No. If I played it all the way to this point up to hard, I gotta beat this show on hard, or you don't got me at all.
Yeah, no, for sure. When games do that, so that's one of the, especially for like these days when you don't even always have a lot of time to play games, and it's like you're playing it, you think you're getting far in it, and you get to this point and you realize there's something you didn't do, and the option to go back to get it is just not there. I think I can't remember which game it was. I think it was Metal Gear Acid that did that. It was a spin-off Metal Gear game where it was card based rather than moving around, and you had to pick up decks and stuff. And I remember playing that, and a similar sort of thing. You get into a room and you can't proceed, but then you can't go back to the room to get the thing that you need to proceed. And it's like, geez, I'm not doing this no more. Like, come on.
That reminds me of Resident Evil 4, was it? Yeah. And when they had the regenerators first spawn, and if you didn't have the infrared scope, because you had to run past him to grab it in a room, and then if you didn't get it, you just fucking die. So I'm just like, okay, that's terrifying. That's one of my number one fears in life. I never want to fight that again in my. So I just watched my brother play it for the rest of the time. So I'm like, yeah, sure, I can play it. Yeah, I'm so good. No, I'm good. As soon as I got to that part, I'm like, it's not fun anymore. I hate this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like this. I will delete my save file and just call it a day. I get you.
Yeah, those are my issues with the games that I've been playing or going back to. But I just realized that I also watched Severance since the last time we all spoke. Severance is a great show. They actually had a very large gap between season 1 and season 2 of like 5 years. So there's only 2 seasons out right now. It's actually, I think, is written by him as well, but directed by Ben Stiller. Even if you don't know the show, you've seen a clip of it. Okay. Well, you know where I watch my shows. Well, so with that said, even if you haven't watched the show, you've seen a clip of this guy. He's like, he's the guy from he was the extra in one of the Spider-Man movies, one of the newer ones, where he's like, Spider-Man, do a flip. So that guy, he's like sitting down at a desk, and then you got I don't want to say he's muscular, but he is fit. This black dude, he's like dancing around him and everything. If that meme has been going around everywhere, and that's what got me to watch the show. Funny enough, that scene is actually a serious scene in the show. So the concept of it is it takes place in the near future where you get an operation, they give you an implant, and that implant creates an avatar. The avatar does your job, but has no knowledge of your past life, has no knowledge of life outside of this workplace. So they don't even know the name of countries. They don't know what the sky looks like. None of that shit. Any injuries or anything that happens to you while you're in that severed state will happen to your physical body. So theoretically, if you happen to die, for example, for any reason, then you will actually die in real life.
Oh my God.
So yeah, I love that show. I recommend it. It's it's like a, as I like to say, a dramedy. It got drama and comedy. Definitely worth a watch, and great acting.
Okay, Severance. All right, cool.
Hmm.
Um, all right, and for myself then, I'm gonna talk about a movie came out a few years ago, and I guess it's another controversial one as well. Did you guys see Barbie at
I
all,
did.
either when it came out or any time
I
since?
saw
I
it in
guess.
theaters.
Saw
Okay,
what?
Barbie, the
No.
Barbie movie. I watched it maybe last month on Amazon. So I didn't see it in the cinemas, but I was aware, of course, the backlash and everything else that happened around the time. But I just watched it recently because it was part of the package, and I was like, all right, let me just see what's this about. And as someone who never played with Barbie as a kid,
Say what?
um,
What'd you say? You
um,
played with Barbies? What?
not as a kid.
Oh, you said Barbie. I thought you said Bobby
Oh,
this whole
Barbie.
time.
All right.
I thought it was like a horror movie that you were talking about. Yeah.
Barbie. Yeah,
Okay.
Barbie.
My
Barbie.
bad.
Based on a toy line.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, you know what? I really liked it. I thought what they did with that movie was really cool. I liked how multi-layered it was. I liked how how in depth it goes. I'll say we're going to avoid all the sort of major spoilers and things like that for this podcast episodes. But suffice to say, yeah, it goes into a lot of depth. Like, I mean, I didn't know much about it outside of the controversy that happened at the time. Um, so I had no idea what type of movie it was. So I was kind of, I guess, pleasantly surprised, if you will. Just saying that it was like it's a comedy, I guess, in its at its core. Although it's kind of, I guess, like you say, a comedy drama in that it is funny, and it is humorous, and it is quite light overall, but it can get real serious at times, and it balances those serious moments and the comedy moments really well. Like there's a particular moment with Barbie and Gloria when they're in the
America Ferrera.
America Ferrera, yeah, when they're in Barbie Land, and it's all kind of coming to, well, falling apart really, but like I said, I won't say too much. But yeah, that whole scene was awesome, just really incredible, and how it's done, and that whole kind of monologue that America Ferrera Gloria goes into. Um, so yeah, I just liked how it used a lot of metaphors to portray things from Barbie world and the real world, and drawing those parallels to perceptions and how we view things and how we view other people and what we think of other people, or expectations of other people, expectations of ourselves, value, how we value ourselves, and there's so much kind of in there in that movie, and I just thought they delivered it really, really well in that film. So yeah, that was like 2022 that film came out. But yeah, I thought it was excellent. I thought it was really excellent. What did you think of it, Celeste, when you saw it in the cinema?
Oh, it hit hard, like so many areas, because I was one of those girls who loved Barbie, and I still kind of do, like in certain aspects. I like the collector dolls, not necessarily like what the play lines are, but there's certain parts where it's just like, oh, that's interesting for that title. And it's just like, we didn't expect this. We didn't expect it to be like this. And when you go in, it's just supposed to make you feel good kind of number. But really, it really hit so many like female core like topics. So that was very surprising. Made me cry in the theater though, that monologue.
Yeah.
My friend and I, when we went, yeah, we cried.
America Ferrera is pretty awesome actually. I feel like she probably doesn't get enough credit. So yeah, big up America Ferrera. Um, was it crazy crazy weird? No, I can't remember what she says.
No, she got
Crazy
her
weird
start with
and
Ugly Betty.
what?
She got her start with Ugly Betty.
Oh right. Oh yeah. No. I was thinking of stuff she said in the film.
Mm-mm.
She said that I'm crazy. It was just it says it to her daughter about you try to pretend that you're crazy, weird, and something. I forgot what she says, but anyway. But yeah, Ugly Betty was what got her famous. I never watched Ugly Betty actually, but I believe it. From what I was reading, because I did look it up, it seems like Ugly Betty touched on a lot of the same topics as Barbie did, about image and things like that. So it's probably a good draw to get America Ferrera in that movie. Did you guys watch Ugly Betty?
No,
Nah.
it's a really old show. I know it's good,
It's like
but I
20
think
years ago or something. All right then. I reckon that's probably a good place to start winding down this particular episode. But before we do that, we got maybe a couple of minutes, a few minutes. Do you guys have any last things you'd like to mention? Anything else you've been watching, playing, or quick shout outs you want to give to things you've seen recently that people should check out? Celeste?
I got my husband playing Wild Rift, so he's finally jumping onto the League of Legends bandwagon. Also, very disappointed in 2xKO in the system that you have to unlock characters or you pay for them. So, yeah.
Oh, is that the game you love to hate? Or the game you hate that you love?
Is both. So 2xKO is their tag team fighting game that's published under Riot with their famous characters, but it's not fun to unlock the characters. So screw it. As cool as it is, like, no, I'm not doing that. I don't have time. I'm a mom, I have small business, and I have a part-time job, so no.
So you're going to play it again
So
as soon as you
they're
get off the
offering you
podcast.
to pay for the character instead of unlocking them?
No, you have to put in like so many hours to unlock them, or you can pay for them. And it's an obscene amount, if you ask me, when you're playing a fighting game. Because like when you're in a fighting game, like usually your matches shouldn't be more than 60 seconds. You know what I mean? Like you should be good at it so that you just don't wind down a clock. It's not ideal if you won't have to have like 30 hours so you can unlock your next character. It's like 30 hours with 60 seconds to 30 seconds on the clock does not give you a lot of time. Like you have to play a lot.
Yeah.
So, it's kind of like that Baldur's Gate thing that you were talking about. Like, yeah, the world is vast, but you can stop kind of playing where you feel like it too,
Exactly.
So it's not the same because then you won't have the whole roster. Like, I hate fighting games like that. Like, dude, just give me the roster. And if you have guest characters, just say you have guest characters, but that's not the roster lineup. Versus, okay, this is the entire roster and you don't get it. So screw you. Like, at least with Smash Brothers, you can unlock the whole roster, but it was like you didn't know until like after, the newer games. But that's it.
So how about you, Sweet Bundies? Anything else you want to shout out to real quick before we end today?
One game I've been playing, even though I hate it, it's almost like doing crack. It would be Marvel Rivals.
Oh,
okay.
And I deleted this game so many times. And again, this goes back to my analogy about it being like crack. You quit crack and you say, no, I'm done. I'm done with that. I'm being sober. And then all of a sudden somebody has a crack pipe and you're like, you know what? I'll just take one more hit. And it's like every time when I get away from Rivals, they release a character that I'm like, I told everybody, well, if they bring this character in, maybe I'll play it again. I said that for Daredevil. Next thing you know, their next character was Daredevil. I said I ended up quitting again, and I said, all right, if they bring in Deadpool, when they bring in Deadpool, because they will, I'll play it again. And sure enough, they brought in Deadpool, and they brought him in a big way. He's not just what you would expect. He was more than that. So now I've been playing ever since, and I really hate that game. I really, really hate that game. There's no logic as to why I play it, even though I hate it. Just like there's no logic for a crackhead to be smoking crack. So with that said, Overwatch, which is another game
yeah,
that I
yeah,
used
yeah.
to play before that, which is similar to crack, but I actually quit that game. I actually got off that crack pipe and went to a new crack pipe. Which it, hey, it
Tastes
happens.
better,
That's the
at least.
cycle of life, right?
Is it a
Listen,
sweeter form of crack?
mine is
Smoother?
League, but I never uninstalled it. So it's there on the
Man,
corner of the table. I'm just not doing it, but I'll do it when I see
I'm a
it.
rage quitter. I'm a rage quitter. I'll delete shit over and over and then have to reinstall it like an idiot. I did the same thing with the knockoff of League of Legends. That's Smite. Smite, I finally quit. Like years ago. But yeah.
Ah,
Mhm.
Have you
really quick,
played? Have you
really
played
quick.
Overwatch? Oh, so okay.
Yeah, okay, really, really, really quick. Because of how well Marvel Rivals is doing, Overwatch 2 was all like, oh no, we're losing our player base. We gotta copy exactly what Marvel Rivals is doing. So new Overwatch 2 is now just back to Overwatch. They changed it to like monthly updates, I believe. So they're like, we're gonna release 12 new characters in the roster and keep pushing out content as much as like Marvel Rivals does. Because for the longest time, they were not like they were uncontested in that space of like MOBA first person shooter. And now that Rivals is like, one, I have favorite superheroes, and like now we get fucking cool ass outfits and then Overwatch is just like, oh, but we're a really cool IP. It's like, yeah, but you didn't fucking support us players, so shut the fuck up.
Exactly.
So I just wanted to put that out there that because Rivals is actually doing good, it's okay for you to like that crack pipe. It's changing the scene. Big ass Blizzard. Like,
just that specific crack pipe, not crack pipes.
Yeah. Just that one. You can't go back to Smite.
We're not
Can't go back to
encouraging you to
Overwatch.
crack.
No, you gotta stay with Rivals because they're doing something
do
right.
Crack.
Yeah.
Don't do crack. It's not
I was with Overwatch for years and years. And it was just after a while. I mean, first off, it was a lot of bullshit before they even became Overwatch 2. But when they became Overwatch 2, that's when a lot of bullshit came about. And people complained. I mean, people always complain, right? But if you got majority of your fans complaining, and they're making valid points, and you're just ignoring them like, shut up. You're gonna play the game anyway. Yeah, that's true. But
you played it, I didn't. Not me. There's a difference.
I stopped. I used to play Overwatch a lot when it was original Overwatch. I used to play that quite a lot. I used to come in, play it for a little while, maybe leave it for a little bit and come back to it. And I think I played it for a good few years at least like that. Just go hard for a few months, stop for a little bit, come back. And then it became Overwatch 2 and it was just like, what was the point? This is not a 2. It's a regular update. You know what I mean? It's just a regular schmegular update and they just slapped a 2 on the end and there was barely anything. But at that point, they've made so many changes to the characters, especially with Pharah. Pharah was my main, and they made some changes that I didn't really like with Pharah quite a while back. And at that point, I was just like,
downgraded the looks. Like the looks look worse. It's like how do you go from something so futuristic to like, oh, here's generic like polygon shapes and like like sleek. It's like that's not what we're looking for when we see Overwatch.
Mm-hmm.
So.
It wasn't. I mean, for me, it wasn't the look so much. I mean, it was just the fact that the way you fire weapons, that where you aim weapons, with like I say, specifically with Pharah, because I played with Pharah a lot. That sounded not how I intended. we'll roll with it. But yeah, just little things that I noticed and I just didn't really like. But I kept playing, like you say, you're gonna play it anyway. You're right. Yeah, I kept playing it anyway. But eventually I was like, I'm good. And when Overwatch 2 came out, I was like, it just didn't feel enough of an update to warrant calling it a 2, and I haven't played it since. But then I did see they've gone back to Overwatch, just Overwatch. But I've not played it since they've come back. So I don't know, I might try it again at some point, see what I think of it. But yeah. I don't know. I don't know if I can get back into it like I used to again. I don't know if I got time for like that.
Me, I was curious because I do miss some of the characters. Like, my main was Brigitte.
Oh yeah.
That character is fun as hell. I love that character. I got so much hate for using that character. I didn't care. I love that character. So I miss playing as that character. And some of the other characters are funny too. But it's so chaotic. They got this new character that's the jetpack cat, and it could pick you up and then fly you around and shit. And I saw somebody do that with a Bastion while I was in the turret mode, and I'm like, nah, I'm good. That's like when GTA added the damn flying cars with missiles. I said no, it's too much. I'm good because I don't want to get mad. I get mad over life itself, just daily life, just at my job, get mad. I don't need to come home, get on the game, and get mad. And that's one reason why I hate Rivals. One of many reasons.
Yeah, he's trying to chill. All right, then. So I'm just gonna give a quick shout out before we end today to a game called Killzone 3. So Killzone 3 came out 20, I don't remember, 20 is a long time ago. This is before some of you guys were born, I'm sure. Killzone 2 was excellent. Killzone 3 came out a little while later and it was excellent. But I've been playing it again recently. So I still have my old PlayStation 3. And when I say old PlayStation 3, I mean like the old PlayStation fatty, not the slim, nothing fancy like that. I had the old school PlayStation Fat 3 that I still have, and I've had it for ages. I've considered selling it at one point, decided not to. That console seen me through many times, so I can't sell it. It's too many memories. But anyway, it's been in my just kind of sit in my and for a while. I haven't played it, but since I moved to the new apartment, I was like, you know what, I've got this PlayStation 3. Let me put it under the TV. Let me plug it in, and I started playing Killzone 3, and I've just been having a good time with it. I managed to play maybe 1-2 hours a week as I get time to, but I'm having a good time with it. And it still holds up really well all these years later. Like the graphics still look great. The gameplay's still great. I mean, the story's a little bit clunky by today's standards, of course, but then Killzone was never really about the story anyway. So it's just a great game with great action. Simpler times. Gaming from a simpler time was Killzone 3. I actually wanted to play Killzone 2 initially, but for some reason the sound didn't work. I don't know why. Like I put the game in and the sound wasn't working. Like the game plays, but the sound doesn't work. And I was like, why is there no sound? I don't know. Anyway, so I swapped out for Killzone 3, started playing that. And yeah, still a great game. However many, 10, whatever years later it's been since Killzone 3 got released. So yeah, shout out to Killzone 3 for making a really good game. That still holds up all these over a decade later. Over a decade later. So yeah, I'm sure it was like 20. Let me look it up real quick. When was Killzone 3 released? I just need to look that up real quick. Killzone 3.
Probably like 2005 or something like that.
Killzone 3. Not 4, 3. 4 was good as well, but yeah. Killzone 3 came out 2011. So yeah,
2011.
15 years later. 15
What?
years later, and it holds up really well. That is an achievement. 15 years later. Killzone, here's the thing real quick about Killzone. So I never played Killzone 1 when that came out. It didn't really look that interesting to me. But then Killzone 2 got that reveal at, I think, E3, if you remember E3. And it looks amazing, right? And I was like, I'll try it. So I tried Killzone 2, and that was great. I loved it. And then Killzone 3 I played, and I was like, oh, this is awesome. And I thought, let me go back to Killzone, see how it all starts. So when I got Killzone, the original Killzone, played, that game was sucked. That game absolutely sucked. I'm sorry, guys, but that game was so boring. But Killzone Shadowfall, which was the fourth Killzone game, and then there was Killzone Liberation on the PSP. Those are really good. So pretty much every Killzone game is great except the first one.
I mean,
in my opinion, I'm sure there's people out there who loved it, but in my opinion, that first game was not it. But yeah, Part 2, 3, Shadowfall, Liberation, all great games. But yeah, I think that's where we're going to end this episode, our first episode back for 2026. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, if you have any suggestions or things we should watch or play or check out, let us know. We'll see what we can do. And if you want to hear us talk about, let us know. And like I said, we're going to try and do episode every now and then. We're going into more detail about particular things. So yeah, if anything you want us to go into particular detail about, Let us know. We said we could do, but that's going to be all for now. So thank you very much to Celeste Orchid, Lady Celeste Orchid. Let me put respect on your name. Sweet Buzz, Sweet Bundy, or Sweet Buzz Music. Appreciate you guys coming through, taking time to chat with me about geeky things. And yeah, thank you for watching and or listening. And until whenever, if ever.